Mhm. So it really goes back to the fundamental behavior of how Ripple itself operates. XRP, the token, runs on the XRP ledger, a decentralized ledger of sorts, which has largely been scrutinized for being controlled and manipulated by Ripple Labs.
What is up, good people? Jungle Inc. here. Hope you're doing well. I can take some guff from Jack Mahler and other Bitcoin maxis, but Yahoo Finance, that opening clip was from Yahoo Finance, and this guy with his decentralization, he can go to hell. He doesn't know what he's talking about. First and foremost, transactions on the XRP ledger will always settle in a fully decentralized manner. There is no question, there is no debate. It is just the way the system operates. Ripple has no control over its transactions, and I have been critical at times over Ripple's control because they're the only ones with money, and those with the money have the control. They don't have overt force to go onto the network and make changes. They're just the only ones with ability right now. It's going to change, but right now to fund things. We heard with hooks, the hooks development. Ripple didn't block that. They just were unwilling to fund that. And without their funding, you couldn't get it done. Now they're interested in programmability, and we're circling back to this idea. David talked about this openly. If they're not willing to fund it, might not happen. But we're hearing Robinhood, Bitstamp may build decentralized exchanges on top of this technology. First Ledger having success, making money. More are going to follow. If we start getting more entities having success, building up war chests of capital, or they're already big and they decide to come to this network, major banks and payment providers sending significant volume over this network, all of that stuff that I talked about goes out the window. But regardless of that, today and forever, the XRP ledger is fully decentralized. When you look at Ethereum, this guy's acting like other blockchains are so much better. I've heard Joe Lubin talk about a future where we may want to censor transactions in extreme situations, that maybe we should give the government that okay. And that's something we should discuss. The problem with tyrannical governments, and they are all tyrannical, every situation that they want to do something is going to be an extreme situation. So that's something that we should push back with. But this isn't novel to Ripple or the XRP ledger. This is something with all blockchains that those that are building the future are going to have to push back against government. This is not a special issue with the XRP ledger. And, seeing this on Yahoo Finance, going to an audience that probably doesn't know a lot about this stuff, it's ridiculous. I have no idea out of all the different blockchains you could attack, why it's got to be XRP, but it's always been like that, and we continue forward. That's fine. You can be critical of any blockchain, and I have no problem with that. No problem, pointing out the areas that we need to improve, the areas that need work. But to just make something up and to say XRP is decentralized is just wrong. It's simply wrong, my opinion. To me, this is the big one because it's going to pay the most immediate benefits. The AMM clawback amendment is now live. And, one of the things that really angered me was the fact we're going to have a stable coin on the XRP ledger and you couldn't use it in those AMMs. Well, now you can. This is going to build to on-chain liquidity, which will lead to XRP being more useful. It's going to build to, other assets being able to build up trading volume and build more long-term value. This is the one we needed. This immediately is a massive game-changing update for this network, and today they got it done. Not just Ripple, but all the people out there that got this development done, got this thing live, and we are rocking and rolling. And you're going to see, it's not an overnight thing, but you're going to see a lot more activity, I believe, on-chain, which is the key to everything. How much on-chain activity you're doing. I don't care how much you're buying and selling on Coinbase and Binance. It's about on-chain because that's the future. And that's the decentralized economy. And the more this grows, we're going to see a lot more value built up for the XRP ledger as a technology and for XRP, the token. Huge announcement. Grayscale filing for an XRP ETF with the New York Stock Exchange. It's only a matter of time. You know what's next. BlackRock, they are going to bring an XRP ETF to the market. It's just a matter of time. Moon Lambo with a great post here. He says, remember the headline from 4 years ago. Grayscale terminated its XRP trust and sold all its XRP holdings. Well, today Grayscale filed for an XRP ETF with the SEC. My, how times have changed. Absolutely. Look at this headline. Grayscale Investments liquidates all of its XRP while it still can. And look, a lot of people I know sold at that time, and some of them did absolutely phenomenal by making those trades. I mean, those of us that were in this asset for 4 years, it's been a little bit of a tough time, but times are looking up. The value of XRP is up, and I don't even think it's started yet. We're going to take off like a rocket ship once this bull run really gets in full effect. I asked people out there today, I did a poll, and I said, will February be a big month for XRP? 76% think it's going to be massive, and I'm right there with them. I believe it's going to be a big, big month for XRP and for crypto in general. Again, we know this first part of this cycle. They don't always have to perfectly repeat, but we know generally April, May, somewhere like that, you're really starting to hit your top for the first part of a bull run. If we're going to be running, this is going to be anything like we've seen in the past, it's going to happen now, and I think it's going to. Let's see how it progresses. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think February, we're going to see things start to move back up. Hugo with the following warning. You really don't want to use a software wallet with any meaningful amounts of value. I strongly recommend learning how to use a hardware wallet to stake and delegate on Flare. A lot of people in the comments here were panicked. They're like, what are you talking about? We all use Bifrost. And by the way, that's what I use as well. I don't use a hardware wallet with this one, but this is just generally, I don't think he sees anything wrong with Bifrost, but this is good advice. Just general cryptocurrency 101. You use your software wallets for your little transactional stuff. You use your hardware wallets to secure your stuff long term. This is something that I personally should be thinking about. Further, be careful out there. Even if you've been around for a long time, you can make a mistake. I got to tell you this. I got a new phone and I thought everything moved over, but of course, just the wallet software moved over, not the keys. And so I went to get into my Bifrost wallet after I'd already wiped my phone, mailed it off, and I couldn't get to my Flare. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what did I do with those keys? Luckily, I had them. I didn't lose all my Flare, but it could have been devastating. So you got to make sure your key management is good. That you do things smart like this, like Hugo's saying. Make sure you use your hardware wallets, whatever they are. Protect yourself. Don't keep it on exchanges. We've seen how that kind of stuff has played out. So I think he's just given us solid advice. I really don't think he sees any problem with Bifrost. It's one of my favorite wallets out there, a great wallet, but just generally, I think a good tip from him. I think that's all he's doing here. Big announcement today. Tether, they're going to be launching on Bitcoin, on the main chain and on Lightning. And to me, long term, I think what you need some sort of decentralized exchange on that blockchain. I don't know if it's possible. We know it can be done without smart contracts. We saw it on the XRP ledger. But if you can do autonomous swaps on chain, if you can trade between Tether and Bitcoin in a decentralized manner on chain, man, that would be killer. And to my knowledge, yes, they have that being built out on layer twos and stuff like that. I don't know any plans to do a decentralized exchange directly on the Bitcoin blockchain, but maybe at some point in the future. Maybe if we get that, to me, that would be a big game changer. To be able to trade Bitcoin in a decentralized manner, that'd just be killer. We'll see how it goes. All right. I put this post out and I really believe this. The biggest flaw in crypto is the reluctance to call out reckless behavior when it offers a short-term benefit. We saw this with the UST, right? It didn't make any sense. This and things like Celsius, obviously this wasn't going to be sustainable, but it pumped the market. And it flushed a lot of capital out in the market, investment capital going in, moving our coins up, and no one wanted to say anything, even though it was clearly not sustainable. I feel the same way about Michael Saylor's strategy. When I hear him talk, when he really gets into his Bitcoin strategy, it's like Mashinsky all over again to me. I just do not believe that, debt to infinity is a business strategy. And you take a small break and then you issue out some equity in your company and then back to debt to infinity. I just don't believe that's going to play out well long term. Michael Saylor just made the cover of Forbes, and we can see historically that's not been a great thing within crypto. Not saying he's going to go down imminently, but I feel eventually this guy's going to run into a buzzsaw and it's going to be a major problem. I just don't think it's a good idea to buy, very volatile assets with infinity debt. It just sounds like something that's going to go really awry at some point in time. Maybe I'm wrong. I really don't think so. though. Moonchaser, great post here. Short the FOMO has built a two-way decentralized bridge from Zahao testnet to XRP Ledger testnet using Evernodes. A lot of great technologies here in this. I thought it was a big mistake from day one not having a bi-directional bridge between the XRP Ledger and Zahao. I think if they had that, people would have embraced this and really got excited about it. Hopefully they can get this up and running. And, Zahao is a very capable network. It already has hooks running, a lot of programmability. I think this could be great if you had a bi-directional bridge. As an XRP holder and investor, now this is something I can get behind because now you're adding value. Burn to mint, value is going away into the psychosphere for XRP Ledger. I don't like that. But, I think this would be an important piece of infrastructure. And I hope Short the FOMO can get this on the main chains and actually have this live and activated because now this is something we're incentivized to get behind. Last, my buddy here, Rob Art. He's responding to a lot of people feel, we got ETFs and regulations are on their way. And it's only up from here. This won't be like prior cycles. It'll never come down. And we'll probably see a transitionary period where that's kind of the case. We saw that with tech, right? Like, look how long tech's been going up. Of course, eventually there'll be some, massive pullback within all financial markets for an extended period of time. But in general, tech has been going one direction and one direction only. And I think crypto will get there. But what I'm looking at here, just now, a lot of this stuff is just starting to get integrated within traditional finance, ETFs, things like this. People really aren't using crypto for the tool it was designed to at scale for your big institutions. Not yet, they're going to. Secondarily, we haven't even got the regulations yet. You don't have a clear regulatory framework rolled out, so you're not even still sure what is legal, what is not. We're going to get there, and I think that process starts this year. But for coins that don't even have, or technology that doesn't even have clear legal regulations, do you think we're at that point where it's only up? Because I sure don't. I think people are going to try a lot of things within blockchain once this is legal. Most of them will fail, crater to zero. They're going to be horrible pullbacks, in my opinion. But we'll get to that point where, again, it starts getting traction, it starts getting scale, and then it will essentially go only up. I won't know exactly when that happens. That's why I keep some crypto to the side for a very long term. But I would not expect this cycle to be that tipping point where everything changes and we no longer go through very extreme cycles. Maybe it won't be a 4-year cycle. Maybe it'll look different in some manner. But I still think there's going to be extreme volatilities because this is still so early. And the actual adoption of cryptocurrencies at any kind of meaningful scale, we're getting there, but I just don't think we're there yet. Let me know down below what you think, though. As always, please like, please subscribe. The revolution will be televised right here on Jungle Link.